you'd better make sure you don't miss any of those QuickTime events.
So why do we hate QuickTime events?
Who says we hate QuickTime events?
Welcome into episode 18 of QuickTime Event, brought to you by Middle of Nowhere Gaming. I'm your host, Courtney Osborne, and today I am joined by Adam.
Hey.
And Jordan.
Hello.
Two newbies to our podcast series, right? You guys haven't been on any of them before?
First
time.
Alrighty, cool. What are we here for today, Adam?
We're going to do a Game of Thrones spoiler cast focusing on the latest episode, which was... it'd be nice if I had that in front of me. The Lost Lords.
Yep, there we go. All right. But beforehand, we're gonna briefly cover episode 1 just quickly, since we didn't actually have a spoiler cast for episode 1. We didn't come up with the idea until earlier this week, so too bad for that. But oh well, we're gonna quickly cover that. And like normal QuickTime events, we don't want to record for too long, so we're going to try to keep this around 30-ish minutes. We'll see how that goes. Shouldn't be a problem, but if you have not played Game of Thrones episode 1 or 2, the Telltale game series, then you should probably get out of here because we're going to spoil it. We're going to talk about the decisions. We're going to talk about the major plot points, all that good stuff. If you plan to play it soon, then go ahead and pause the episode and go play it and then come back. If you don't care about spoilers, then welcome in. But with that said, you guys ready to go?
Yeah, and I think we should probably also mention if you haven't watched Game of Thrones and don't want that spoiled or read the books, you may want to also avoid this.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. All right, let's start it off. Episode 1. What did you guys think?
Best beginning to a video game I've played in a very long time.
Really?
Yeah, because it was, I'm a fan of the series, I'm a fan of the TV show, and it's just a great start because everything's all happy, and you just found out that you're about to get promoted, and then all of a sudden the words "Night of the Red Wedding" pop up on the screen, and any Game of Thrones fan is just like, oh shit.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, you know what's about to happen because we've all seen the Red Wedding. We know the slaughter fest that happens there. So that's that was an intense way to start the episode. Now, do you want to just go ahead and jump to the end of it, or do you want to cover some more stuff that happens during the episode?
Well, actually, I wanted to mention a couple of things that happens actually in that beginning sequence, because there's some interesting stuff that happens. Number one is the first main choice that the game asks you to make is to leave Bowen behind or to save him.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how that has, some of these just don't have any bearing on, how the rest of the series is going to play out. But, I just thought that was maybe it was something that they were trying to set up, newbies to Telltale games, this is how it plays out, or maybe that might come up later.
Yeah.
Right.
So did you guys save him or no? Or did you leave him behind?
Refresh my memory. Was that the guy who was walking with you?
Yeah, that was you were carrying around the wine or something like that. You went to go get some more and then shit went down.
Yeah, I believe I did save him. I believe I did, but
Did he die anyways?
I think so because I haven't seen him since then.
Okay. Yeah, cuz I booked it. I was like, nope, done.
I'm out of here. Now, did you yell for Roderick or whatever during that first sequence also?
Yeah, and it distracted him, I think.
Yeah, and then he gets stabbed in the leg or whatever or something like that.
Right.
Oh man, I was pretty upset with myself for having done that.
Right. Yeah, no, and so but that was another thing. There's I totally wrote Roderick off. I was not expecting him to come back at all.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that when we got to episode 2.
Yeah.
That surprised the hell out of me. But that first sequence, whenever you have the chance to warn him and then he gets stabbed if you do, that right off the bat, let me know how Telltale was going to handle the series. That they were going to handle it just like Game of Thrones, and it doesn't matter what you choose to do, people are going to die left and right. I was like, oh no. It just made me so worried about every single decision I had to make.
Yeah, the game's kind of a dick. There's really no good decision throughout the game because even if you think you're doing the noble thing, it's probably just going to fuck you over in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and half the time when you make a decision of what to say to somebody, you still or he ends up saying it the wrong way. Your character ends up saying it just in a different tone that you imagined it in or something, and you end up pissing somebody off, and it's like, no, that's not how I meant that to happen.
Yeah, that drives me nuts when that happens, because you think you understand the decision you're making, and then it's like, no, I'm just gonna screw with you.
Okay, so any more points before the end of that episode that you guys want to talk about?
I mean, there's like this stuff like, I don't know how like choosing Duncan over Royland is gonna play into it later on. Like, who the Sentinel is gonna be. I don't know if that's really gonna make.
Who did you guys choose? Did you guys all choose Duncan?
I went with Royland, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Adam, who did you choose?
I went with Duncan, but it was like a hard choice. Was once again, it kind of presented you with neither of them were really particularly like a perfect choice, because Royland's kind of an asshole, and then Duncan's a little bit, seems like a little bit weak and apologetic, and so there was not like 100% like this is the right choice to make here.
See, I was similar to you in thinking that until whenever you first get a chance to talk to them before having to name one of them, Duncan pulls this whole we're running out of food, but we could take food from the low people or whatever, and that will help us survive, and it'll just be their duty to help us survive. And I was like, okay, you are the right man. You do have a conscience, but you can make some hard decisions. And rather than Royland or whatever, like, he was just a straight up dick about everything.
Totally.
Well, and the other thing I think Duncan has going for him, too, is that wasn't it him that you were supposed to deliver the message to from the Fallen Lord? So there's something there. Obviously, he trusts him.
Was it Duncan, or was it your uncle that you were supposed to... Oh, no, wait. Duncan was your uncle, yeah. I'm trying to remember now. It's classic Game of Thrones. All these different characters are thrown at you.
Yeah.
No, Duncan's not the uncle.
He's a castellan of the House Forrester.
The uncle left for Asher.
You're only supposed to tell your uncle, I thought.
Oh, I thought it was... I
think it was Duncan, because I was reading a recap yesterday of the plot, because it had been so long since I played the first one. At least from what I read, it said Duncan.
Okay. Well, anyways. Okay, let's jump to the end. Was it Ethan? Was that the character we played as at the end?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ethan was the young lord who was going to be taking over for House Forrester. Were you guys caught off guard whenever he suddenly gets stabbed in the neck and killed?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think there's really no way of predicting that's going to happen.
Yeah, and we should have known that. We know Game of Thrones. We should have expected something like that to happen.
Well, and if you've watched Game of Thrones, you also know how like colossal of a dick Ramsay Snow is. So it should really shock you that much that you do something like that.
Exactly. He is the biggest dick of the series, and I felt like he caught me off guard more so because he kind of praised us for protecting our sister there. And he kind of just was like, okay, you know what, you could have her. And then stab! I was like, no! That's one of those things where it was going to happen one way or another. It didn't matter what choices we made up until then. And that's something where I would like Telltale to maybe be able to branch out even further and make that a possibility of not happening. What if some people didn't have that kid die? What if he was able to live and then the next episode was completely different for some players than others?
Well, it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like their style for some reason. Like there's no tree of decision making. It mostly seems like you're allowed to make your decisions within like this little realm, and then basically you create your own story, but it's going to end the same way no matter what. Which I think has its own merits. Like that way, at least, like if they get to tell a complete story and they get to tell it the way they want to. Yeah. But at the same time, it's a little disappointing to see that your decisions really just don't make much of a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is definitely something I think with Telltale that that hand of theirs is starting to show. Because I think when you first played like The Walking Dead, it seemed like there was all these infinite outcomes, and oh my god, what could possibly happen here? But I think the more you start to play their games, the more you start to realize that at the end of the day, there's only so many branching paths, even if it seems like there's like, so many decisions you have to make.
Yeah. Yeah. And even from like just like a practical perspective, I mean, like I don't know if this is technically going to become like a Song of Ice and Fire canon, but like
it
is. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually well, not the book series canon. It's the TV series canon, and it's supposed to be what is it? It's the end of the season is supposed to tie into the beginning of this next TV season.
So it has to follow very specific events so that they can reference it or
That's true.
Or not maybe, but
less of a game, more about an interactive TV show or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so then back to the beginning of episode 1 or episode 2 when Roderick is alive all of a sudden. Like, I kind of lost my shit when that happened.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, how did this happen? Like,
yeah. Well, they did, I think they did like a little bit of like last time on Game of Thrones, and like they showed like how he quote unquote died.
Yep.
And like
it was a horse fell on him.
Like, yeah, it should have probably been a little bit more obvious. I think it was just kind of like it was the beginning of the episode, and like you're just getting into it, and everything's going down, and just like everything's happening so quickly, and like I don't know, I was a little disappointed in myself that I didn't realize that he wasn't going to come back.
It made me feel better about Ethan dying. That there was going to be another heir. That the one that was supposed to take over for House Forrester is still alive. Right. I was like, okay, thank God. Okay, House Forrester is not doomed yet.
Right.
we have a little bit of time. We have a little bit of time to work with this. Okay.
Well, no, I think the episode actually starts with Asher, though.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how did you guys feel about Asher's character coming in?
I thought that whole sequence was fun. It was just kind of like an action-packed, for the lack of a better word, kind of romp, and it provided, I think, a little bit of fun and brevity that perhaps most of the other episode lacks.
Yeah, I was going to say, Asher as a character, I really enjoyed. I really enjoy his humor, his dialogue, his cockiness, and his relationship with that female sellsword.
Beska,
Yeah, like their relationship was awesome. Because you can clearly tell that they're not a thing, that they're more like brother and sister, and that they kind of are smart asses to each other, and like, I don't know, they have a really cool one.
I think she even like briefly calls him like little brother or something like that.
Yeah, she does.
But yeah, no, I think that the relationship's going to become really important to how that plot line kind of plays out. I think we're probably going to end up going into some sort of territory that's like, well, Beska's going to say either you're going to stay with me or you're going to go save your family. Like, it's probably going to end up being like a choose me over them kind of scenario. I think that's sort of what they're setting up. But I really like her a lot. I actually liked her more than I liked Asher. I thought Asher was cool, but like, I felt like she had a little bit more personality.
Well, that and she definitely seemed like she was the stronger of the fighters between the two also. Yeah. Because she saved his life like 2 or 3 times there during that sequence.
Yeah. I've heard from a few people that like that sequence was difficult to get through. Like, did you guys have difficult time like with those QuickTime events? Oh, QuickTime events. But no, like I died a couple of times, but there were some people who said like it was like unforgiving.
I didn't die during the sequence at all, but I did miss a QuickTime event, which didn't end up hurting me. It was actually the one where his uncle shows up and like stabs the guy in the back or something like that, which ends up saving you or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, I think from my recollection, I did not die either. I've certainly died at some point in those games, but I don't think during that sequence.
Okay.
Now, do you think Asher is ever going to actually make it back? Like you brought up the decision where he may end up having to help Beska instead of saving his family because they're going to a different town, which apparently she has history with.
Yeah. Wait, where are they going? It starts off in Yunkai, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're going somewhere else to get an army. I don't remember where it was though.
Okay. Because
his uncle said that he wants him to lead an army to save House Forrester or something like that.
Yeah. So here's where I start to have a little bit of issues with the game so far, is that there seem to be some parallels between characters between like the game and the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you think of Asher as being similar to like Daenerys and like been essentially exiled to Essos, has to raise an army to bring back to Westeros to save blah, 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 or reclaim
That's
blah,
true.
blah, blah. Like, it's really similar. And then there's, Mira is very similar to, Sansa. Like, she's
Trapped
in King's Landing. She's
Yep.
trapped there. She has to play the politics, survive the system in order to protect her family.
Yep.
And who else? Ethan was kind of a Bran character.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, it's still only the second episode, and I want to give it more of a chance than that. But it does seem like a lot of this stuff is kind of being lifted off of the show, like in a little bit of a lazy fashion.
It's
so far.
it's definitely Game of Thrones, the same formula. Of the series or whatever, which I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. Because, it's taking place in the same area, and it seems like the throne you're fighting for is the Forrester house.
Right.
You're fighting for that, the head of the Forrester house, and trying to make sure it stays, just like you're trying to fight for, or that everybody's fighting to be the king, of the world or the country or whatever in the actual series.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do like how it's following the show format in that we switch characters so often.
Absolutely, yeah.
You play one scene and then you switch.
Especially from like other Telltale games when you're only following one character. I think this like perspective thing is probably something they're going to be using in other series as well, but it works really well in the Game of Thrones one.
Well, and I wonder if you're trying to create new characters in a very well-known property, that if it's really easy to fall into kind of shorthanding them, that they're kind of like this character from the show. I mean, you could argue if you paid attention, I'm sure the Walking Dead game was very similar, that you could probably draw out who a lot of those characters would be in the comics and the show.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Now, before we move on too much, I wanted to talk about the face capture, because we've been talking about these new characters that we're meeting, but characters like, let's see, Tyrion and, what's her face? Marjorie.
Cersei. Yeah.
Like, they look brilliant, like absolutely beautiful compared to their real life counterparts. They look so similar.
See, it bugs the crap out of me, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it does. Because like I think it falls into like that uncanny valley thing where like so they're trying to be so similar to what it actually is, and then it falls short, and it's too weird for me. I don't know. I think Marjorie is like, I don't think Marjorie really looks like that. Honestly, like it bugs me a little bit, like with her. Cersei, I think, is okay. Tyrion is probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, Tyrion is perfect. Like his writing is really good in the series as well, and he sounds just like he would. He's snarky, smart ass, and all that, and his character looks perfect. And I don't know, I was really, really glad when I saw Tyrion. So
I think they're like Cersei. I think was a great addition. I think Marjorie was a really good addition. Like those are characters that play really well. I mean, like I'm just saying, like their actual like physical characteristics kind of bug me. But besides that, like I think that they have a good place in the story so far. Tyrion, I kind of question a little bit, just because like it feels almost like fan service. Like they put him in so that because people like him so much, and it almost affects the way you interact with him. Because like I found myself in the second episode, like he catches you drinking the wine, right? And like I was like, oh, but it's Tyrion. He's the god of tits and wine. like I'll just offer him some wine. But like Mira doesn't know that, and it kind of. It just changed the way I interacted with him. It didn't feel like Mira should have interacted with him the way that I did.
Yeah. See, I see your point, because I could have done the same thing, but what I did was I was thinking, what would Mira do in this situation? And I was like, I am absolutely going to hide this. Like, I am not telling him. There's no way. I know that he would be okay with it, but I'm going to hide it. And he was a smart ass about it, and he knew that I was hiding it. So it ended up being okay in the end, but I could see what you mean.
Yeah, I'm definitely on Jordan's side here, as I found a lot of times that it was a bit difficult to approach it with like a fresh and new perspective, because I am already, tied to and have strong opinions about those characters, and I found that kind of coloring some of the actions I took and the decisions I made.
Yeah.
I think another one that seems kind of like an odd choice so far, and it might have just been an introduction, but Jon Snow doesn't really feel necessary so far.
Yeah, throwing in who's the guy who got sent to the wall?
Garrett, I think.
Garrett, yeah, that's it. Okay, so yeah, he gets sent there, and then you meet Jon Snow, and he takes you to the top and of the wall or whatever. Did you guys tell him the secret about the grove or whatever?
No.
Yeah, I did.
I did too, and he's like, "You should probably keep that to yourself."
Right.
I was like, "Oh, damn it!"
Well, but I think that's another like example though of like how the character, like if you think about it, Garrett doesn't know Jon Snow.
Yep.
Like there's no reason for him to trust him.
Exactly. That's a good point.
But I did, and you did apparently too. Yeah. No, I don't think it's really going to have much of an issue. I mean, mainly because we know Jon Snow, and he's not gonna rat anybody out.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, but I think Garrett's story is going to get more interesting in the next couple of episodes, especially since it sounds like he's going to be going north of the wall.
Yep, it does sound like that.
Because is the commander? So I'm trying to kind of think of where we're at in the show.
We're between seasons 3 and 4, I thought.
Right, but is the commander of the Night's Watch like still alive, or has that already gone down?
I don't know. I don't remember the timeline.
Yeah.
I'm actually about to rewatch all 4 seasons before the new season starts, so I'll know eventually, but right now I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, like I was thinking about that too, and it seemed like when we went there, Jon Snow was in a certain amount of prominence, and that wouldn't have happened before all those events, right?
That's true.
True.
Yeah, because he wasn't a very popular guy up there until that.
So then they probably haven't gone to avenge him yet.
Oh wait, yeah. Don't you remember he asked he needed to see the commander, and he said, "Well, technically, we don't have a commander right now."
Right. Yeah. That's right. So that he would have already gone and come back and everything. Okay. So they haven't gone to the creepy hut place to go and kill the guy that killed the commander yet.
Right.
So I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. Gary's probably going to get sent on that mission. Probably,
yeah. I don't know. Like, I do feel like the characters we know from the show, tying them into this game is a little bit too much fan service, but at the same time, it is a way for us to connect it more to the show.
Absolutely, yeah. Right, I think overall, it definitely it contributes more than it detracts.
Yeah, because they're not there as like huge figures for long periods of time. They're normally one really quick scene, and then they're gone.
Yep. Except for Marjorie. Marjorie's pretty important.
Yeah, I was saying Marjorie's been in a lot of the Mira scenes. Now, how did you approach all of that? Did you steal her stamp thing, and did you like lie about things and try to get her to help out the family?
I actually stole the stamp in episode 1, but because basically, and I told Marjorie to talk to Joffrey, and after I saw the fallout of what happened because of that, I actually wound up laying off and not using the stamp.
Same thing. Exact thing happened to me.
Yep. No, I actually took the key, and I have no idea where it goes. Like,
right.
I took both.
Yeah, I think that some of those items are going to be coming back in later episodes. Like I know that Garrett can like grab bandages and herbs in like the first episode, and like he's had them like the whole time now. And I hope the key comes in because I usually scour these places and I haven't found a single place to use the damn key.
Yep, same with me. And like Adam was saying, I when I had the chance to use that stamp, I totally decided not to because of the fallout that happened. And I basically kind of turned ship. Like instead of convincing Marjorie to do everything and all that stuff, I just started backing off. I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to protect myself right now because I don't want to fuck anything up here at King's Landing.
Absolutely. So I actually had a question for you guys.
Okay.
Because I'm curious. So it seems like in Game of Thrones, like every once in a while, and this is not really super spoilery, but like somebody dies and they don't stay dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
As in Roderick.
Well, no, but I mean like dies.
Okay.
Like dies. I mean like there's a guy that's like fighting the Hound in the show, and he has died many times and come back to life, right?
Yeah. Oh, I remember who you're talking about. Yeah.
So, do you think it would be like totally jumping the shark if Ethan came back?
Well, I mean, we burnt Ethan, didn't we?
Yeah, we did put him on a pyre.
Yeah,
That's true.
we burnt him and his dad, the original house leader the head of House Forrester.
That's true. I didn't really think about them. I mean, like, still weird shit happens.
Yeah, that's true. This is a really weird universe with magic and dragons and stuff that,
Right.
I don't know. That could be the case. You think the red lady is going to bring him back or something?
I really hope not, but like, I could almost see it happening.
I could see that happening with more of an asshole character.
Yeah.
Like somebody we hate. Like maybe we end up killing the douchebag that killed Ethan, and then he comes back because the show, they need him or something.
Right.
I don't know.
The douchebag who killed Ethan, like we actually get to kill Ramsay Snow, and that's the show is affected by that.
Yeah,
that
right. That would be amazing.
God, that'd be so cool. Now, who's your favorite Forrester? Because there was a lot of them. There's Asher, Roderick, Mira, Talia, the mother, Ethan.
Oh, not even playable ones, just all of them?
All of them. Like, they all had major roles.
That's tough.
I know, right? Roderick is really cool.
I think Roderick's really cool too. I want more time with Roderick though. I haven't really felt like I've established exactly what his character is yet.
Yeah.
Actually, like I've had very little fun playing as Mira.
Yeah, me too.
But at the same time, I think that she's one of the more realized characters, and like I actually kind of like her in the position that she's in.
I don't have as much fun playing as Mira because I think my life is on the line with everything I do as her. I'm so scared when I play as her.
I would actually say, like, I think if I had to pick one, it's probably Ethan. Simply because I think he's kind of an incredibly sympathetic character. He was pushed into something he was absolutely not ready for, and he really did the best he could. And despite all that, because it's Game of Thrones, died anyways.
Okay, so on Roderick, did you guys end up convincing What's-Her-Face to marry him or not?
Oh, no.
I did, yeah.
Oh, really?
I did too.
Oh.
Yeah, I like offered her family like half of the Grove or something.
Yeah, me
like
too.
That.
I did too. I was like, I will give you whatever you want. Just marry me.
Yeah, basically. I really hope that comes in too, because that sounds like it's worth a lot. Because as soon as you said that, she was like, okay.
Yeah, she totally flipped around on the idea. Yep.
See, okay, so this is what I get for being like a romantic. I like saw that option and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it because, I'm gonna win her with love, and I actually said, like, what about love? And of course then she says no, but I didn't offer the frickin' trees.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of tell up front that she's not really in it for the love, because she was like, your house is not in good standing, like I just don't know anymore about this marriage. I was like, okay, I will offer you whatever you fucking want.
Yeah, on top of that, look at his mangy looking face. Love?
Yeah, right?
I don't think so.
His face is half gone. Oh gosh. Now, did you guys notice during both episodes, or I don't know if you guys had a different experience, but when I played both episodes, I didn't have a single Telltale slowdown issue.
Yeah, it ran really well, actually.
Yeah, I had a few glitches, just some pops of like characters being in the wrong place, but it would come right back. But yeah, no slowdown or anything like that. Yeah, it ran really well.
I didn't have any slowdowns like that, and I didn't have any slowdowns with any trophies popping and stuff like that. Like, they would typically pop way late, or it would slow everything down whenever they're about to pop, or anything like that. Like, it ran very, very smooth. Now, before we move on to the finishing this up, what did you guys think about the very end of episode 2? There wasn't really much of a cliffhanger there.
Well, I think I think they're trying to kind of juxtapose it to the way the first episode ended. I mean, like, the first episode is like, wow, and it's like just kind of the whole episode was a setup for the rest of the season, obviously. But like the thing where Ethan's killed is just so surprising and so much of a cliffhanger. I think they wanted to be a little bit more, Roderick is more of a thinking character.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what it ends with. He's looking like at his burning family and he's like, shit's gonna go down.
What'd you think, Adam?
I am okay. Just I'm really sorry about this, but just remind me at what point we end at here.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact point too. I just remember that there wasn't really much of a cliffhanger. It kind of just ended.
It's right after the engagement conversation. I remember that, but it didn't stick with me like the first episode's ending.
It's at the funeral, I think.
No, it's after that. It's after
because the funeral happens earlier. No, it doesn't.
The other house, that other house who's in conflict with Forrester, comes in and declares that he's going to take all of the wood, all the ironwood, and that you have no choice to on the matter or whatever, and you kind of just basically have to just take it like a bitch.
Yeah, but the funeral is actually after that, and then Talia has her song, and then there's like the whole like recap on all the characters and stuff like that as she's singing.
Oh,
and then Mama Forrester comes up. I don't remember her name. Mama Forrester comes up, and she's like, Roderick, what are we gonna do? And I think he says you have the option. Like I think I said like I'm gonna kill all of them.
Yeah,
or
me
something
too.
Like that.
Yep, I was like, I'm gonna make them pay or something.
Yeah. I think that's how it ends, and it just kind of like has a slow fade on Roderick. I might be wrong, but I think that's what it was.
Yeah, it just didn't stick with me as much as, I mean, like the first episode had like a very memorable ending that was just kind of like holy shit, and this one was just a little it just didn't stick with me quite as much.
Yeah.
Did you guys pay attention to the preview for the next episode?
Oh God, it's been probably close to a week since I've seen that.
There's a point where I believe it's Asher who goes into like a cave or something, and then there's a roar, which I assume means there's going to be a dragon.
Yeah,
okay, I remember that.
Yep.
So like I'm super excited if there's going to be a dragon in the next episode.
You know, I mean, like if they've got Jon Snow in there, they've got Tyrion in there. You know they're going to pop in Daenerys. Like it's going to happen now.
I am really excited for that.
Yeah.
Well, that about it for episodes 1 and 2.
That's what I got.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
All right, cool. Well then, thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully when episode 3 comes back, we can all get back together and record a spoiler cast for that a little sooner after it comes out next time.
Yeah, that would be helpful for me. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now that we're trying to do this spoiler cast thing, but anyways, if anybody listening has any questions they want us to read off on the Mong podcast or any topics for QuickTime Event, you can contact us by emailing contact.mong@gmail.com. And you can find us on Twitter by searching for @mong.com, all spelled out. And then you can find us on YouTube by looking for Mong Network. And then if you're still paying attention, you can find our new Let's Play YouTube channel at Mong Plays. Just look for that. And then you can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram by searching for Middle of Nowhere Gaming. And then, of course, the website is middleofnowheregaming.com, where you can find all the latest editorials, news, reviews, features, podcasts, all the good stuff. And then you can find us on Twitter. You can find me at Osborne_2009. You can find Jordan at
JL_FLEUR.
And you can find Adam at
Fanboy_Adam.
Right on. Thank you guys for joining me on this Saturday morning.
No problem.
It's a pleasure.
Mong!
Mong!